G'day guys, Scott from Boydall Road Lights with a quick video on one of our new additions for our Christmas show this year. And look, I can blabber a little bit, so please bear with me if a quick video goes for 4 or 5 minutes. But look, if you came along to our Halloween show or you've managed to catch some of our testing over the last, month, you would have seen a few of our new additions this year, but you haven't seen everything just yet. There'll be some old friends returning for Christmas and some new ones, so please make sure you come and check it out. But look, one of the new additions for this year are these LED wristbands. Now, these obviously aren't a new thing. I'm sure everyone's seen these at some time or other in various concerts and that sort of thing around the world. Pretty sure Taylor Swift is using these in her tour. But we've actually got these available. And the reason these are important to us is we've got these available to anyone who makes a donation of $5 or more to JDRF, which is the Junior Diabetes Research Foundation. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, our youngest daughter, Alexis, who's 8.5 now, was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic in August last year. Essentially had the world that she was still learning flipped upside down on her, turned around, and now she's living with this condition 24/7, 365. For anyone who's not too familiar with type 1 is quite different to type 2, which you'll hear a lot more about on our news when they want to talk about how fat we are as a nation and things like that, because type 2 is typically more associated with poor diet and being overweight and those sorts of things, whereas type 1 is actually an autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks the cells of the pancreas, which produce and release insulin into the bloodstream. Now, for anyone who has a normally functioning pancreas, like myself, anytime we consume carbohydrates, glucose is released into our blood. The pancreas then releases insulin into the blood, and that insulin then essentially transports the carbs to the cells around the body where it's required. Now, for a type 1, they would either produce not enough or none at all of the insulin that does that. So as that glucose sits in their bloodstream, the body will release ketones, which is essentially turning their blood to acid. So you can imagine the potential consequences of that are catastrophic and certainly potentially fatal. So for a type 1 diabetic without some form of insulin therapy, they will die. They don't recover from type 1. They don't get better. It's just a matter of managing the condition. So it literally is a 24/7, 365 thing that Alexis and any other type 1 has to live through. So look, I don't want to blabber too much about that. Always happy to share the story behind Alexis, her diagnosis, how we came to that, what it means for her day in, day out, and her siblings. We try and make sure she lives as normal a life as an 8-year-old should. We don't restrict her diet too much. We just have to manage it with the insulin. You will see her at our show. She'll have a little a monitor on the back of her arm, which is her glucose monitor, which is constantly monitoring the glucose in her body. And also she'll have a bag over her shoulder with which basically contains her insulin pump. So an insulin pump is effectively 2023 technology. It's the closest thing we've got to an artificial pancreas that delivers insulin straight into her body. But again, I'm more than happy to talk more about that to anyone who is interested. But like I said, donation of $5 or more, you get to keep the wristbands. They are reusable. You can change the battery if it goes dead. You can flick them off at the end of the night. You can bring them back when you come next week to the new playlist. And if you manage to keep them until next year, you can bring them back next year as well. And also, if there are shows, and I know there are some shows around the place, Jared at Greenfield Lights, g'day for one, who is using this technology. I do believe if you do go to his show with these wristbands will work. So apologies if that steps on any toes, Jared. But look, please don't feel obliged. We're a big family ourselves. We understand how tough things have been out there this year. So there's certainly no obligation to buy one of these. Come and enjoy the show, enjoy the snow. Most importantly for the kids, there's no need to do so. But if you are willing and able, great little thing for the kids to enjoy. They will flash, blink, change colours, and that sort of thing with our show. So look, yeah, that's about the gist of it. So sorry I blubbered on for too long, but look, they are in limited numbers. If you do want to make sure you get your hands on one, send us a message and we can get you the link. When you come to the show and you want one of these, we can give you the link straight to the fundraising page. We aren't taking cash or taking money ourselves. We'll give you the link straight to JDRF. Amazing foundation who provide a lot of support for the kids who've gone through a diagnosis, for the families who've gone through a child who's gone through a diagnosis, but most importantly, supporting the research into finding a cure. Because until there's a cure, there's simply no other option but some form of insulin therapy for a type 1. Otherwise, like I said, they will die. They don't get better. So it is quite a bad thing. But look, at the end of the day, it's all for good fun, for a good cause. Like I said, if you really want to make sure you get your hands on one and you don't miss out, feel free to send us a message. Otherwise, come and see us at one of our shows and we can give you the link. Until then, stay safe. Looking forward to everyone coming to our show. We'll kick off on the 24th of November at 6:30. New playlist every week, just like last year. Looking forward to seeing everyone and hope you enjoy what we've put together. Thanks a lot.